Hello, my friends, and welcome to Douglas on Trading. All right, today I want to talk to you about commissions and the damage they can do to your account. Okay, so I did some live trading this morning in gold, and I made $140. But I didn't make $140, all right? I only made $95. And that is what? That's a little over 30% of my profits eaten away by commissions. Now, some of that was definitely my fault because I overtraded. I took some stupid trades to begin with, and then I had to make up for it later. Okay, so I could have walked away sitting pretty. But as it was, we've got to remember that commissions are killer, and we do not want to overtrade. We need to be patient and wait for those spots. All right, so in gold, commissions are probably about $5 a round turn for you, depending on your broker. So let's take a look at the trades that I took. We'll take a look at why I took them. And then you can see what happened with all those commissions, right? So I was trading 2 contracts at a time. So I think at the end of the day, if I remember correctly, let's see, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries. All right, so 5 entries times 2 is 10 times. So that's 10 contracts times the $5 in commission. That's $50 in commission. Just bam, slap you in the face and take down your trading account. As if trading's not hard enough, right? As if trading's not hard enough, I can lose over 30% of my account just to commissions. Okay, so remember to always factor that in when you're doing things like risk reward and stuff like that. So let's get to it. We've got NinjaTrader here, and on NinjaTrader we've got the market profile that I was looking at. We've got the VWAP and the deviation lines. I made a video about that the other day. I do like this. And then we've got, of course, over here, this little shiny guy is a Bookmap. So Bookmap I'm going to be replaying. So this is going to be moving, and then this chart will just be static on NinjaTrader, okay? So if you're with me, let's get started. So I started out here, my first trade. Come on, let's play. There we go. So my first trade was at 7:15 a.m. You can see that right here, 7:15. And so what I was looking at was in Bookmap over here, I had these little bit extra extra buyers in the book. That's why it's highlighted. It's got a little bit more volume there than in other places. And I was biased to the upside. So even though there was some guys up here on the sell side, I wasn't terribly concerned about them. And of course that ends up changing because I screwed up early in the morning. And then, so at the same time, this is playing around the VWAP, this lime green line right through here is the volume weighted average price, and then every other line beyond that is a standard deviation away. So 1 standard, 2 standard, 3 standard deviations is how much this plots. So I liked the point. We were above the VWAP since I had an up bias and we were near the VWAP, that I thought this was a good place to take a risk, especially with these guys down here supporting me. And they do, but the problem is we had these guys come in up here, and I've sped this up a little bit so you don't have to wait around forever. And you can see that they started selling. Okay, so they came in and they made a push on it, right? And so they kind of scared me. And I think, yeah, 7:20 is where I decided, well, I didn't want to go down big early, so I was going to just cut my losses at 4 ticks times 2 contracts, so 8 ticks. And of course, basically the instant that I closed my trade, it started going in my favor. All right. So you see these big red dots. That's the big selling that came in, shook me out. Even though I had bias to the upside, I shouldn't have got shook out by that stuff. And so now, now we've got wasted $10 in commissions plus the 8 ticks that were down. And then immediately it starts chugging through that liquidity, that volume that was sitting in the book. It starts taking out those sellers, which is what I was anticipating when I took the trade. And then I psyched myself out. So let's pause it here. And then at 7:30, so I didn't learn my lesson, right? Didn't learn my lesson. I came in with a little bit of a revenge trade. So at 7:30, we're coming off this deviation. We ran into that there, and we had some sellers piling in the book, a decent amount. Shouldn't have taken this trade. I should have waited for a pullback, and that's exactly what happens. So I took a dumb trade here, short. I go short. I'm hoping that these guys will push down. But if we look in the book, there's nothing down here for them to really go to. Everything is up on the upside, which is why I was biased up to begin with, is all the liquidity was up. I thought that price would try to go take those guys out. Psychology, man. Psychology, right? So what happens is I went short, it bounces off right here on this deviation, the first standard deviation away from VWAP. And then about, where was it? How many ticks away am I at that point? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 ticks. So I was already down 8 ticks. Now I'm down 8 ticks times 2. So that's 16 ticks plus the previous 8 ticks. Okay. So we're not doing good now. And I reversed my trade. I finally got my head on straight and said, you're biased to the upside. What are you doing, man? You're biased to the upside. So I got my head on straight. I reversed my trade, but that's more commissions now. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 commissions on 2 contracts times $5 a piece. And so we're getting down heavy on commissions. And this one works out all right. You know, I make my target up here, and then I was hoping that we would come back, like we kind of start going sideways. I was hoping in this area we had volume point of control coming across. We had the VWAP there. And so one of 2 things were going to happen. I was going to act as a pullback, which it did. But I was hoping that this was going to be support, that we're going to continue pushing through that liquidity, because we had done it. We had done it over and over and over. And so I had pulled my stop up a few ticks to here, so I would at least profit on the second target. And I would have been back positive, actually. If I'd got out up here somewhere, my account would have already flipped to positive, even from all the mistakes that I'd made, because my reward was bigger than the risk I had put on earlier, which is what I've really been working on. And but as it does come back. So it takes me out. So my second target, I made a small profit on. I wasn't satisfied with that because I was still negative in my account. So we come down and we come back to that first deviation. And that's the first deviation is where we bounced previously. So I thought maybe we had a chance to do that again. And this is a small highlight here. It's not very big. Where does this come in at? 806. So we need to speed this up a little bit. I think this is this might not have been the area that held. Obviously it wasn't. So where's 806 at? Keep going forward. Let's play here. All right, so we're down. We get in at 154.80 basically. All right, so this was the liquidity that held up. All right, so they made it through that first batch. I didn't play that. And then it came down, and since I was looking for the pullback and then the continuation, again, I'm trying to get through this liquidity. My target is this 1582 up here. I thought we were going to try to push up to that and go for the big dogs, and then I thought that that's where we would stall out. But we never do get there. And so it bounces off this area down here. I get in shortly after that little bounce. So I got in really, really nicely there. And but at this point, I'm kind of shook up about my trading hasn't been so great. And so I take a kind of a weak sauce exit there, and I get out on both of my contracts. But now that's another entry. That's more commissions, right? That's even more commissions. And then it comes back, and then as it starts going up again, I get in again and take another weak sauce target when I definitely could have held on for a decent amount more, at least back to the next deviation, which is where it touches, is the next deviation before it continues on down. But after that, I'm well past the time that I need to move on and go to my real job. All right. So that's when it crashes. Unfortunately, I can't play that. It's too late in the day for me. But that's what happened today. So as you can see, even though I walked away, so after this trade, I was up $140 and I was feeling pretty good, especially after being down by like 240 or whatever it was down by. And, but I hadn't factored in the commissions. And then when I see my account settle, I'm like, oh hell, man, that was huge. I lost a ton of money on commissions. And it's because of I over traded. I mean, if in hindsight, of course, I should have traded down here and I should have held to this point of control up here. So that would have wiped out, you know, 1, 2 extra trades in there. So that's 2 contracts times 2. That's 4 commissions that I wouldn't have had to pay. And then as we're coming over here, I should have got in here and been brave enough to hold on at least till back up in this area somewhere. So that wipes out a whole nother set of commissions. So trading takes balls. You got to hold on to stuff. This is really easy to do in sim. It's easy to hit those big targets in sim, and then it's a lot harder once real money's on the table. And so that's basically what it came down to. Was it changed my psychology enough that I wasn't holding on the way that I do when I'm on the sim chart. But we walked away okay. So that's good, and it provides a valuable lesson. All right, guys, that's it for the day. If you like videos like this, please let me know, like these review type videos, how I'm doing, my actual journey. Let me know in the comments below, because I do share my bad days. I've shared the days when I blow up my account. I share the good days, of course. And so let me know in the comments below on that. Otherwise, I'm going to pop up my fat face, punch it for subscription, and you can follow along on this journey with me. And then I'm also going to throw up another video for you to watch, and hope you do. Thanks, boys. I'm out.